All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Capture Card Podcast. This is episode number 5. It's been a minute since we recorded. I think the last one with Los was like 2 weeks ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But we're back now. Obviously, we have our co-host here, Jared, and then we have a very special guest, Aaron Rivera, with us.
Hello.
How you doing, bro?
I'm chilling.
Yeah,
chilling. Big Sunday vibes.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. I feel that. So just an update for me and Jared, what we got going on, and then we'll get into Aaron for sure. So Jared, bro, what's been good? What you been working on? What have you been doing creatively, and then also outside of that, just in life in general?
Man, honestly, I think recently I just reached out to my mentor, and he lit a fire under my ass.
Yeah,
he said you got too much potential to not be out here doing what you supposed to be doing. So shout out my boy Chris Cinematic in Miami. That's my mentor, and he's basically kind of teaching me how to scale my business at this point. Because at this point, I got a full-time job. Yep. So he's basically saying you can still have this full-time job and remove yourself as a bottleneck in your own business and run it full-time, and you ain't gotta do nothing. Just sit back and make the money.
Yeah, I feel you.
So that's what we're working on.
I feel like having a mentor is it's very helpful when it comes to all this stuff that we're doing.
Oh yeah. And
I feel like it's very underrated. Like, people want to just start and do everything themselves, but stuff like this, you kind of need a mentor.
Yeah, facts.
It's it's not official, but just someone that you can look
up to and ask those everyday questions that because there's no blueprint, there's no answer.
Exactly.
And even all of us could give somebody an answer. It would probably all be different, but at least finding someone that has done it before and knows some type of success through the
we didn't go to school for this or anything. So it's
I feel like even if you did though,
you still need
there's no clear path unless you're doing the corporate route.
Yeah, exactly. I agree.
And 9 times out of 10, you see when you choose a mentor, that means they've already been through all the work that you're kind of going through right now. So it's kind of I wouldn't say an easy route to get you to where you're trying to get to, but someone showing you how they went through this same thing that you're going through, but kind of expediting it.
Facts. And that's exactly what I want this podcast to be, bro. It's a spot where maybe we're not individually one-on-one mentoring people or giving game or answers to them, but through this podcast you can get insight onto how we've all become successful doing this.
And every individual, I feel who come on your podcast, they have some sort of value in terms of what they do outside of their work and how they maybe their schedules link up with someone who's a viewer. So you work full time, I work full time too. So if someone who is also working full time, they can kind of get some tips and tricks on how to balance.
Exactly. And that's one reason I wanted Jared to be the co-host is what I do, I know isn't the norm. You know what I'm saying? Doing it full time.
Yeah.
And I just know it's not easy to start that way. I know I did it. I moved out here. I just didn't have an option, or I didn't give myself an option, I should say. But having people who can prove hey, I can do a full-time job and I can also start this shit up on the side and start up what I want to do on my time and be successful at it. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what have you been working on, bro? Big projects besides obviously building yourself and the future for what you have going on.
I mean, I've been doing some of my passion projects since I have a little downtime and work has been so busy. I've actually had, and it sounds crazy, but I've actually had time to work on more passion projects because I don't have the real things behind dealing with a client right now.
Right.
So that has taken a lot of load off of me. I'm not gonna lie. But honestly, it's either you can do passion projects and work with your clients at the same time, but when you have time for just one or the other, I mean, that feels the greatest because one of my clients I used to have for a long time, I was running their social media, doing all that, and it came to an end, and I ain't gonna lie, man, it feels good.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a lifted weight.
Yeah, you don't have to put that much time and effort into it, but that's why going back to having that mentor, removing the bottleneck.
Yep.
I could possibly go back and say, hey, we can start this back up again, but I have that whole system in place to where I don't even have to touch it.
Right, you're not the one.
And then I still have time for passion projects as well as work. But honestly, I'm so into sports, and I've been, trying to, hit up people who, professional athletes, anybody. I don't care.
Yeah, literally,
you know,
somebody trying to get right.
Somebody will respond. I'm sold on that. Somebody is going to respond. So that's why, you know, got another camera, and that's what I've been working on, trying to just do like a real like passion project of a sports documentary put together and directed by myself. So
that's really dope. Me personally, I just got back from New York trip with Gymshark. Super dope. We were shooting their sale. Obviously it's Father's Day today, trying to enjoy that, just chill.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day, my guy.
Forgot to say that.
No, you good. Yeah, bro, just same thing, just working on stuff that I want to be working on, you know what I'm saying? Like for example, working with some of the basketball players off the Cougars, Houston, University of Houston. And then I have one client that plays on the Grizzlies. So starting to transition into that space, working with the NFL trainer still, all that type of stuff is just like getting me out of the fitness industry, which isn't necessarily my goal, but start transitioning, like you said, into that sports, real world, real teams, all that type of stuff. And like figure it out, you know what I'm saying?
Just increase your, you know, portfolio and being multifaceted, not just like fitness stuff.
Right. And I think like fitness is cool, don't get me wrong. And obviously like that's where I started. That's what works for me. But now it's like, all right, what's next? You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like I'm starting over because like nobody in the sports world knows who I am.
Yeah, exactly.
And I remember like the first time I posted sports, like I got like an influx of followers. And I'm like, none of them have ever seen my stuff before. None of them know who I am. But like in the fitness scene, it feels like I'm starting to get to the point where like I know people in different cities, different people in different cities know who I am. You know what I'm saying?
And it's refreshing doing different work. Probably.
Yeah, it definitely is, bro. It's fucking dope. Yeah. It's completely different pace, completely different like end goal. So it's like being there and shooting and everything is like it's like new again. You know what I'm saying? It makes it fun. So using that to get into you, Aaron. I think you're one of the best videographers in the fitness space. I think a lot of people would agree. Man. You have a very unique creative style. And you're someone who balances a lot, and you have a new, unique perspective on videography, in my opinion. So starting with yourself, how did you get into videography? How did you pick up the camera for the first time? And then what do you now currently do? Or like, what's your goals in videography right now?
Gotcha. So, well, first of all, I'm an ICU nurse and NP, acute care NP grad student. And then I also do the videography and photography on the side. I picked up the camera. I was looking at the dates back in my Instagram because I was like, I know this question is going to pop up. It was March, April 2022. So a little over 2 years now. Yep. I picked up the camera initially because, as you know, you and I used to powerlift, and all the powerlifters, they always record their lifts and post them or send them to the coach. And I just wanted like some higher quality to post. Yeah. So I just got, my first camera was an A7 III. I got off Facebook Marketplace. It was $1,500 with like, came with 2 lenses and like a mic. I was like, this is amazing.
I'm done. I'm set.
Yeah, I'm set. So I started recording my lifts, posting them on Instagram. And then I would have Ant, shout out Ant. He would record me. And instead of just like posting the clip by itself, I would practice editing on the clips he shot of me.
So adding like a little bit more into it.
Yeah. So I was like, you know, I don't want to post just my lift, but I will like do a quick little transitional edit into the actual lift. So that's how I started editing videos at first. And it kind of snowballed into what we do now.
Yeah, facts. So what would you say, like if someone asked you, what do you do in videography or photography? Like what would you say like your style or what you do is?
Like my style of videography. So
obviously fitness, but
it's mainly fitness, but I do incorporate a lot of my interest outside of fitness into my videos. I used to play in bands growing up in high school and college. I'm very involved in like music such as like hardcore, punk, and like rap, all that stuff. So I take elements from what I see those artists doing and incorporating into my videos. So a lot of inspiration comes from bands, their music videos, and how they present themselves, and like skate culture. I have a lot of old tech that I collect and incorporate in my videos a lot. So I'd say that's kind of my style.
I saw your profile before you came in. Your storytelling is crazy.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's crazy, bro.
So as someone who has a full-time career, someone who's in school still even, what made you like feel it was necessary to like keep pursuing videography and like keep getting better, all that type of stuff? And like even now still, like obviously you're an ICU nurse.
Yeah.
So like you have a career, you get paid from your job. What gives you like that inspiration to like keep pursuing videography and getting better and working on bigger projects. You know what I'm saying?
So I think the most important part when it comes to that is I from the beginning, I did this for fun. Like on my days off from the hospital, from school, I want to go in the gym and just record. Like I did it for fun initially, and I still do it for fun.
Thanks.
And I feel like whenever that enjoyment gets taken out of it, then it starts feeling like, you know, a job again.
Right.
So I think I never really treated videography for myself in the beginning as a job, and I was just doing it for fun. And I feel like that's what keeps me wanting to do it more.
I feel that.
And it just happens that, you know, you start getting paid to do what you like to do. I'm like, oh man, like this is good. Like on my days off, like it's technically work, but it doesn't feel like work.
No, I feel that for sure.
Compared to hospital work.
So based on that, like, when was like the first time you realized like, oh, I can make money off of this? Or like, not even necessarily was like, oh, I want to make money off of, but like the first time you had your paid gig after, because you said you started April 2022.
2022, yeah.
How long did that take to
like start getting paid?
Yeah, or like somebody asked you to shoot for them.
Okay, so when I got that camera, the first ever like videography edit I did was whenever I flew to Miami with Russ and Duhan to shoot the Better Inaka CBUM event. And I had like a weekend off from work, and I was like, "Can I just come with you guys? To, like, I'll pay for my own flight and hotel, and I'll just hang and shoot BTS." They're like, "Yeah, come over." So I brought my camera. I never did any like video editing other than like my lifts.
Yeah,
and I just kind of captured the whole weekend and posted it on Instagram. It was like a transition of me in the hospital, going straight to the airport, and then just filming the whole weekend. And it did really well on Instagram. And I was like, they're like, you know, a lot of people hit me up, are like, how'd you do this, that? I'm just like, I was just trying to, my first time really editing, so I was just like putting clips together.
Trying different shit.
Yeah, and then they like, how much do you charge? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
The first time it's always like, I don't know what I
don't know how much this is worth. So I was like, you know, a couple, like $100 or something like that. So, but what was the question again?
Like, when was that moment that made you realize like you could do it? Like it was worth it to keep like getting better and all that type of stuff.
I think after that trip, because I was getting a lot more traction on my page and people were showing interest in like what I do. I was like, and I wasn't getting paid yet still.
Right.
So all of 2022 was just me doing like the videography on my days off until I think Russ and Dion hired me on to Better, GBT Better, to shoot like BTS and other content for the page.
Yeah.
Go ahead. No, my bad. At that moment, so when you said you did the transition from the nurse to going to Miami, right? In that moment, did you feel like, okay, I'm about to maybe start doing this on the side for, you know, as a business, or was it just like, let me throw this piece of content out there and see what happens?
It was more like that. I was throwing it out there because I was like, this is I like editing. I found out I like editing and putting content out, and it was fun. And I think that was the moment where like, oh, I want to keep going and see where this goes. I wasn't like looking for the money yet at that time. It was more like you said earlier, doing the passion projects. That was pretty much like my first like passion project when it comes to videography. So I just kept doing a bunch more passion projects all of 2022 till more opportunities came about where people wanted to pay for my services.
I feel that. What in your career, what has been the best like project that you worked on?
The best project? The best project, or like the first project where I was like...
The best? You could do both. Like your favorite that you've ever shot, though, like from beginning to end. And then what was the first one and how did it go?
I feel like I speak for you and me, and when I say like the first time we ever shot for Gymshark.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was like the first project where I was like, this is like I was nervous.
Yeah.
Like I had like imposter syndrome. Like, why do they want to hire me to do this when I haven't been doing it for that long? And like they could have picked anyone else in the space to do it. So I think it was before you came here. It was a Gymshark shoot in Corrupted Strength.
Which
involved like David Lade, Jamal, the twins, and Nabil and all that. So a bunch of athletes, and they wanted like probably like 3 reels out of the full day, and I was like, I was overshooting. I was getting so many clips. Just I was like, this is gonna be like my first big like thing, and it was like my first big payment that I was gonna get. So I think that was the first, like the most influential shoot to date. My favorite project, dude, there's like, I feel like I would make a project, it's my favorite, and then I move on to the next one. I'm like, why did I do that?
Yep. Everyone becomes your favorite.
Everyone becomes your favorite, and then you look back, I'm like, I should have not even uploaded this because I didn't like it as much. But
expanding on that,
yeah.
Do you always try to beat your last project?
I always strive to like beat my last project, but there's some projects where I'm like, this still holds up to this date. Sure.
Like I can't top this right now.
I can't top this.
Whatever reason, this one just hit different.
This one hit. Like even though it wasn't like the coolest edit, it just hit. Probably the best project I've done, I think it'd be Jamal's whole like prep series, because that challenged me to not do vertical content, and I was just a videographer who did strictly short form YouTube content. So that kind of switched my perspective. So that switched my perspective on like videography as a whole. Like I can also do long form content rather than short form. So probably his like whole prep series was probably one of my favorite projects.
Okay.
And then I'd say the corrupted strength videos, like that era, that was still one of my favorite eras of videography, I think. So
going back to the point you made when you were saying that you did the Gymshark shoot, right? What was going through your head in those moments when you're like, how you said, why me?
Why me? Yeah.
Like what was actually going through your head? Like what pressure did you feel being paid to shoot for a huge brand versus shooting for free, knowing that you had the creative freedom and you don't have anyone to judge your work? Yeah. Like what was the feeling? Man, those feelings.
Dude, I still remember like editing it and I was like, this is insane. Like, because I was doing videography. The Gymshark shoot was February of 2023. So it's been less than a year I was shooting.
Right.
So in my head, I'm like I said, I felt like I had imposter syndrome. Like, I'm not qualified enough to do this. But I mean, if they believe me and they trust me, I'm just going to do my thing and how I edit. And I don't want to try to edit like someone else. I was like, they chose me for a reason to do this, right? So I was like, I'm just going to do my thing. There was a lot of pressure, but at the end of the day, it's like they hired me for who I am and what I do. And I'm just going to give them what I've been doing within that year time frame I was shooting. And did well.
Yeah, facts. After you got done, like how did you feel like delivering them and like getting the response?
I was like,
even I know like Gymshark, like they'll just be like, all right, thanks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they say thanks.
Like it's like they don't give you like a full breakdown, which is fine. But what did that feel like once you've seen it get posted, all that type of stuff? Like, because obviously that's a huge company. Yeah. Even like now, still working with them.
Still like, now, it's like sometimes I still get bro, like I hope they like this.
Exactly.
Because Izzy and I have been working for Gymshark like periodically ever since. I'd say because like our whole circle is within Gymshark, and they give us a lot of opportunities to kind of showcase our work. So shout out to them.
Yeah, facts.
But I think you send the deliverables. You're like, okay, thank you, and I'm just like, oh, thank you. You're right. And then I think you just kind of wait till like the athletes like say, oh, this was sick. So I think the athletes saying that they loved it makes me feel a lot better for what I sent off.
Yeah, exactly. It's like again, once it's posted and like or people responding to you individually, it's like all right, but now like the weight is off.
The weight is off. I did it. It's posted. The comments are coming in. They're liking it. Like I think that's my favorite thing about it, honestly. Whenever someone like really puts in the time to like, I'm gonna comment like, this was really good and like I love watching this. I'm like, okay, so everything I did, all the anxiety coming up to the shoot while editing, it's like it's been lifted because it was well received. Yeah, and I was like, okay.
No, I feel that for sure. How do you balance having like such a demanding job? I know you work 4 12s.
I currently work 3 12s, and then I'm in the clinical for like another 3 12s, but I've been cutting back on the work because it's just I don't want to be in the hospital 6 days a week.
I feel that. So even before you cut back or even still, like how do you balance that being there 6 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever it might be, and then also having school and then also shooting and finding time to edit all like your projects? What does that schedule look like?
It's crazy because someone just asked me this last night too. I can only speak for like the nursing schedule and not like people who work Monday to Friday. Yeah. Because I've been working 3 days a week ever since I was 20. I'm 28 now. So with nursing, whenever you have a shift, your whole day's cooked. Like you're in the hospital. I wake up at 6, get hospital by 7, end at 7, get home by like 8, and I just want to sleep. And
there's nothing else to do.
It over. So usually the 3 days a week I'm in the hospital, and then on my days off, that's when I study, I edit, and I film. And on my days off, that's really where I take advantage of, okay, I need to shoot this day, I need to edit, but I have to do homework. So it's just balancing time. Sometimes I have to like edit a little bit at work, and I just post up in a cubby and just post and edit at work whenever. Obviously my patients are gonna be okay. I'm not like ignoring
in the
them.
ICU running
in the
back
ICU,
and forth.
they're the first priority, but if I have a little downtime, I go edit. But usually days off, that's when I take advantage. It's like another work day. But it's like I love editing. I think it's fun.
Yeah, hell yeah. So you can add so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can add some, So I think that's the biggest thing with the nursing schedule. All on my days off, just put in all the work when it comes to school, videography, and then go back to the hospital next day.
Going back to, not when you started, but a little bit prior, what impact do you think having like living with LT, Dorian, Harry, those guys had like on your career? Because obviously LT's even someone who inspired me, and just that whole house in general, like what they had going on, Legacy Loading Podcast, like all of that. And then obviously LT as a creative, and then Randy was around you guys at the same time, like,
and you.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think that people actually know the importance of the house,
the house
of vibes.
Everybody in. Like everybody who was up in that Houston.
Does Jared even know about that house?
No, Jared doesn't know about that house.
I need to get into powerlifting.
So let me break down the story of the house, because that was a very influential point in time for me and Izzy.
Bro, just like the Houston creatives
creatives in general. So it was like, what, 2022?
Yeah.
So 2022, I moved to Houston 2021. I live with Harry. Now he works for Young LA, and he does
athlete management
for a company. So I live with Harry, and then LT Joe, shout out Joe, he wanted to shoot more Houston fitness content, because his whole story of him working construction, now he works for Young LA, does the whole creative side for Young LA. He pulled up to Houston to shoot Harry and Dorian. Dorian literally just spawned in our Airbnb. I don't know where he came from.
It's fucking Croatia, bro.
Croatia, and then
bro
he just
came out here for a bodybuilding show, and then just decided to move.
Stayed in our Airbnb. So it was me, Harry, and Dorian. Dorian was just like chilling there, and now I was like, living there off his suitcase. Joe came by and shot Harry and Dorian just for fitness content. And then all of us just started creating. It was like a content house, like what you see on like TikTok and
literally,
YouTube.
bro.
That's dope.
And then we moved Airbnbs to a bigger one, because like we have so much, like we're getting a lot of packages now. Dorian got sponsored by Alphalete. Harry was working for Alphalete at the time. We're getting all these packages. Let's move out. And then that second house, that's when I met Izzy.
Yeah.
So Izzy initially flew down because he wanted to. You can talk about why'd you fly down.
Yeah, I don't think I ever talked about this like on the podcast. So I used to. This is when I first started videography. This was, I think I came down for summer shredding, so that would have been
summer shredding.
July
2022?
Yeah, June of 2022. No, this had to be earlier than that, because I moved in June of 2022. Oh, it was because I moved like 2 weeks after. I remember going home, I had like 10 days, and I came right back.
Yeah,
but so back. I was watching the Legacy Loading Podcast, which came out of their house. Basically the same thing that we do.
They started a podcast in their B&B.
Yeah, for the entire fitness industry, just like getting inspiring stories, you know what I'm saying? And so I was watching the podcast. I would use that like as my motivation, because nobody in Minnesota was doing what I was doing. Yeah. And I was like watching LT, watching Harry, watching Aaron, just like everybody in that circle do what they do. And like I was like, okay, if I want to do this for real, like I have to go to Houston. And I remember watching one of the podcasts. I even still have the DM. I DM'd Harry. He said like, yeah, like if you're not even in Houston, there's people here who like need stuff done. Like he was like, I have like 4 YouTube videos I need edited. So I hit him up. He didn't respond for like 2 weeks. Finally responded. Edited a video for him like same night, got it to him like 2 a.m. the same day.
I was grinding.
Yeah, exactly. And that was that point where it's just like,
you had to.
Like this is the only option, you know what I'm saying? And then from there, I edited like 3 or 4 more. And I told him, I was like, hey, bro, like I want to come down for summer shredding. Like if you guys need anything, I'll be around, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, yeah, bro, if you want to come down, like I'll pay for your flight and just be with me the entire time. And I was like, fucking say less, bro. Yep. Like,
and
that was the first
That's how I met Izzy.
And then that's how we met, is because he lived in that house with
I lived in the house, and he just walked in. He just walked in my Airbnb like, hey, what's up? I was like, what's your name? He's like, it's Izzy. I was like, oh, like you live here? He's like, no, I flew here for this. I was like, oh man. So you stayed at my crib for...
Stayed on the couch, bro.
Stayed on the couch for like
3 or 4 days.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days. I was
dropping out the suitcase.
We were literally... A lot of people have trapped out the suitcase in the B&B. I'm telling you.
Facts.
Like a lot of people.
And that's it's crazy to think about all the people now in the fitness space and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that came through the house.
Even
if they were on the podcast, if they were staying the weekend in Houston, just on the couch, like just the amount of people that have impacted the fitness industry through that, or from
through
that house.
Airbnb, people just crashing and just creating out of that.
See, that's an important lesson. How you said you was in Minnesota and you messaged Harry. And it was like, look, let me edit something for you or something.
Let me do something, bro.
And that's how you eventually ended up out here. Like, it's just the opportunity that you took, even though you could have made money from it, right?
Facts.
It's like, let me get this opportunity first. Move out there and show everybody what I can do.
Facts. And I even remember after the first one, he's like, yeah, I got like 3 more videos already recorded. Like, I can send them to you. How much do you charge? I was like, honestly, bro, like, I don't charge shit. Like, I haven't made a single dollar off this shit yet. Like, just give me the opportunity to keep doing stuff and like build my portfolio and like work with someone in Houston. And then from there, it's funny because when I moved, that was the first client that I worked with, retainer, every single fucking, I think we recorded damn near every day or 4 times a week. And it was just like seamless. It made it super easy going through that, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, it's just all based off of, hey, I'm willing to take this opportunity if you're willing to give it to me. I'm not expecting much from it. Like, all I want to do is work on my own shit, you know what I'm saying? And I knew I was the best editor. I knew I wasn't giving him the best quality shit that he could possibly imagine. But it was like, this is what I can offer for you.
And you were just genuinely trying and wanting to do something.
Facts.
Other than like some people, that's one thing too. Like people who start out, they want the money right away.
Oh yeah, especially now.
Now. Back then, not really, but now, like.
And it's crazy. That was what, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago now.
And like the life is so different from that, like the
insane.
Airbnb era versus like now. Like if it weren't for that DM, I feel like Izzy's trajectory wouldn't be.
Right.
As it has now. Yeah,
no, that's real. I agree. And it's like, even now it's like the people that will move to Houston or would move to Houston for the opportunity. And I'm not saying don't, and I'm not saying it's not possible, but like, it's so much harder to get in now. Or at least get to where you see yourself getting to.
Yeah. I feel like the influx is less now too.
Yeah. And it's like before, bro, I came down for summer shredding. I was shooting everybody that weekend, but now it's like everybody has their own photographer.
Everyone's like settled now.
I think that just comes from like social media in general, because a lot of people, like you said, they won't shoot for free. They'll see, like, they'll see you at a gym shooting, and then they think, oh man, maybe if I go get a camera and come in here, people will pay me to do these things. Because back in the day, a lot of people, their hustle used to be, let me go get a camera, go stand outside events, charge people $20 a photo to shoot. That's money. That's what they think is going on right now. When you see a lot of these creators working with different people, like, oh man, you working with Russ? Man, that's cool. Let me go try to work with Russ.
If I learn how to run a podcast, I can work with Russ.
Yeah, I can do this. Or they don't think about the building aspect of what it takes to grow your own personal brand, because we all 3 of us have our own personal brands, and that's why people who know you, they can vouch for you, give you to other people word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? That's how you build that, and that's why people know you all as creators, and that's the beauty of it. But a lot of people just don't think of that aspect. They think, oh, video and photos don't always make money, just because they see a lot of people with a lot of clients doing a lot of work, but they don't know where y'all started. Like you said,
they don't know
suitcase,
about that.
Airbnb. Like, nobody knows that.
We didn't have an address. We had I lived in 3 Airbnbs before I got my own apartment in Houston. And I moved, and I'm moving again tomorrow. But it's I lived in an apartment already, and I'm going to a different apartment.
But like, Airbnb, you said I need to grind again.
I love the Airbnb era, but I don't think I can do it again now.
Yeah, it's like it had its time and place. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, like just the fitness scene in general, and obviously that's what we're in, is fitness. But like the scene in general at that time,
it was
booming, bro. It's like that's right when TikTok started blowing up. Everybody could leave their house again after COVID.
Yeah, it was. I feel like it was the videography photography era. It was everyone didn't want to be an influencer. They want to be videographers at that point.
And even still, I feel like it's kind of dying off. But I feel like LT like blew that up.
LT,
and I don't even feel like, I know he did, at least for the fitness space. Is like, he made it cool to be the videographer.
Yeah, you know, rather than being the influencer or athlete themselves.
And then also showing like the personal brand. So building off that, because I remember when you had your photography account and then you had your personal account, kind of like I do still. What was the process of building your brand and like who Aaron Rivera is, and then what do you like try to portray online as, or not even portray, but like what do you present as?
So I had when I first started photography, I made a separate account because I was like, I'm just posting pictures. It's still up there.
The other day.
It's still up there. But I posted like all my photos. I never did video too. I started with photos. So I just posted all my photos on that account. It was Aaron_Rivera 35 millimeter. And then I had my main account where I posted like my lips and stuff like that. I think one day I was just like, I don't really want to have like two different identities where I have a photo account and just my regular account. I want to be known for not just photography and videography, but for me, for myself. So I kind of stopped posting there and I just posted my work and everything I like on my main page. So, and then a lot of people kind of, I feel like, know me as, they know I nurse, they know I do all the photo stuff and the gym stuff. So it's like having an identity of myself rather than these separate entities. Like, oh, this guy has a nursing page, this guy has a photo page, and has a lifestyle page. No, let's just put it all into one and just be known as one person.
Now, do you find it kind of hard in terms of like engagement wise when you post one side of your life versus the other?
For sure. Like recently, like probably in the last year or two, I started getting into more concert and show photography because, like I said earlier in the pod, that a lot of my influences started with bands.
Yep.
And now recently, I've been shooting for a lot of bands that I look up to ever since I was in high school, college. I used to listen to these guys and see them, but now I'm shooting them on the sidelines and backstage. So every time I post those kind of photos, they don't really get as much love, but I don't really care because like I still love it. I'm still
you're
gonna
enjoying
post.
doing it. It's not for the
engagement.
The likes.
It's for like I can't believe I shot this band, and I posted it. So yeah, every time I post like a nursing thing or that, it doesn't get as much love as the fitness. Because fitness is what really drove my page up. But at the end of the day, it's like post what you like too.
And that's a different opinion from a lot of people because a lot of people will tell you to niche down and only
keep
post
that aesthetic. And
So with that, do you feel like, well, first, is there anything other than, I guess, fitness that you want to venture out to in the creative space?
Oh, in the creative space? Okay. Because I know you ventured out into sports.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to venture out more into what I've been doing lately, which is the concert and show photography and videography. But also within the past 2 years, I've gone into a lot of like the medical field. And the medical field and content is kind of like booming. Really? And people don't even, you wouldn't know that, but like I've done like ads for like Dickies, Figs, which are big scrub brands. I work for Clove as a creative, which is a nursing shoe company based out of Philly.
Man. So
I wear nursing shoes practically every single day, and being able to make content in them while working, it's like, it's bringing both of my lives together with that's content and healthcare. So it's like, this is like perfect. So
I think that's like a perfect example of like, like, yes, we're fitness and sports mainly. And like, we talk about that a lot, but like, no matter what you do right now, content is like through the roof.
There's always a market for what you want.
Like, bro, you could shoot this goddamn apartment building. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody shoots content for this apartment building. You know what I'm saying? So like anything that you can think of, any like aspect of like that of life that you're in, like there's content that can be done for that if you want to. What was I about to say? I forgot the question I was about to ask. It was going back to the content house, but
I mean, it's only going to be up to us to change like how people view things in terms of like niching down versus shooting what you want to shoot.
Yeah,
like you said, I'm also in the real estate space, but a lot of people wouldn't know that because I don't really post too much real estate items. But then I started to realize, I'm like, man, post this and somebody will come to your page and see that you can you know multifaceted. You can shoot.
You can do more than like one type of video.
Yeah, because they'll look. Oh, he's just because I was having that issue initially when I niched down. I was shooting a bunch of basketball. And everybody was like, well, you know, can you shoot anything else? Or all I see is on your page is basketball. And sometimes that's actually a deterrent because people will look and see like,
assume that's all you do.
He can't shoot a house. He can't go and shoot.
So you prove him wrong.
And so then I sent him a whole portfolio, and then I realized that portfolio it has so many industries in there that's like you might as well post all of them and show them like
might as well, dude.
I can shoot music videos, you know, cars, whatever it is. It's crazy. So I think we really have to get away from the niche and stop thinking in terms of like so much engagement.
Yep.
Because that's what we are right now. But if we can get away from that and just post what you love, like you said, I think that'll change the game for sure.
What going into posting and like the content or your personal side of it, what like return have you seen from like consistently posting? And you're not even someone who like posts,
I don't be like posting like every single day.
Right, but just like consistently posting your work and posting what you got going on, like do you get a lot of outreach through Instagram, basically?
I think Instagram, I got all of my outreach through Instagram and TikTok too.
Yep.
I have a TikTok strictly for nursing because like I spam the nursing content on there and I get a lot of nursing deals from that too. But I feel like the benefit of posting every day, it's like you're essentially running an ad for yourself. Like you post your work, someone sees it and then they're like, oh, I kind of want something like this. Let me DM this guy. So I think consistently posting really, regardless of like the follower count, it'll get out there somehow and someone's going to like something and be like, are you able to make this for me? And it only takes that one post, like I said, to get that one brand that you want to work for. And they're like, let's get this guy.
Right.
So I think posting is key. And I wish a lot of creatives don't be posting too.
No, they don't, bro. It's like example, one of the dudes from that was just shooting with us, Gymshark. Like he was like Uger. And he was like, bro, like I just don't post. And I went on his account, he had 2 posts. Yeah. But like he's still there shooting with Gymshark. So obviously he's getting opportunities. Obviously he has a job doing the content stuff. But like I personally feel like posting, especially in this era, like has brought for me specifically, has brought me so many clients. You know what I'm saying? Just purely off of what I post on my page.
It's literally like it's literally an ad.
It is every single time.
Like unintentionally, it's an ad.
So moving past that kind of, how do you approach your creative process in the videography space? Actually, before we do that, I always say moving from photography into videography is harder in my opinion. Yes. I also started in videography, so that might like skew that. You said you started in photography. How hard was that transition to start doing?
Dude, I was scared to hit record. Videography? I was scared to hit record. I was like, my hand's gonna be all shaky and everything. I think photos was just, in my opinion, was easier because it was like one still image of like a moment in time, and I could just mess with that image. Videography was a little tougher because it's first of all, it's continuous. You have to get the angle, you have to get the white balance, you have
Consistent.
to get it's like there's a lot that goes into videography. So I feel like the transition was it was difficult at first, but now I'd rather shoot video than photo.
And like the editing process, how much different was that for you, or how much longer did one shoot take you of photography, and then once you finally moved to videography?
The video, dude, I remember doing one of the Gymshark edits. It took me like 4 hours to get one reel out.
Wow.
And the thing is, I was still a beginner. I didn't know what an SSD was. I was working off a hard drive, and my Final Cut was crashing. I was like, I'm never gonna get this done. So it's like those learning moments. It's like very important.
What's that notification on Final Cut?
You don't got no storage.
No storage.
The frames are
the playback speed.
Yeah, playback speed is like.
And trying to scrub through it, it's just like not working.
And you're like trying to play. You hit the space bar like 8 times.
Some mistakes like that are like, they're like humbling, but like I'm kind of glad I went through that.
Oh yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
One word, guys, proxy.
Yes.
Proxy
files.
Facts.
Dude,
I remember Aaron showed me that shit. Actually, that was that long ago. That was probably like 8 months ago.
Yeah, you came over, was like, hey, do this. And then you're like, whoa.
This shit moves fast.
It's moving now.
This is how it actually supposed to work.
Proxy files.
Well, I guess before we get into the next question, what was like that, in your opinion, the biggest learning moment, or something that happened to you during a shoot or during a editing process that like made you come out better? Like, what was the main thing that you could remember?
Dude, I feel like this still happens to me today, but the importance of white balance when it comes to video.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of people, auto white balance is good, but at sometimes you're gonna get that clip that's really warm or like really cold, and it just throws off the whole look of the video.
Yeah,
and
there's no correcting it.
At some point in time, people don't realize that. But if it's too hot or too cold, it still doesn't get rid of that tint. So it's like it's tough to just go back and say, "Oh, I can correct this in post."
Yeah, you got to correct it at the time and place now. And then like I feel like that's still one of the biggest things for me too, when it comes to the editing process. And honestly, just like finding that style that you do.
Yeah.
because I feel like sometimes you could see when someone's trying something that's like not them, and which is good because you always want to try something. You always want to try something different. Right. But if you're like trying to
do too much and be someone that you're not, I feel like it doesn't come off as authentic. That's just me though. Yeah. So even again, before getting into the next question, we talked about this on the Lowe's podcast. Copying. So to me, there's a fine line between drawing inspiration and wanting your project to look like somebody that you aspire to be, which I think is okay.
Yeah.
And then there's frame by frame copying, which you've had happen.
I've had that happen.
We won't get too much into detail about the person or the project, but where do you see like that line, or where do you draw inspiration from someone that you might look up to, or somebody that you really fuck with as a creative? And then is there ever a point where you're like, maybe I'm doing too much? Like this is literally their project now.
So when it comes to drawing inspiration, I feel like you both can understand, like your style is kind of like a melting pot of the influences you look at, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So like I said, like I look up to a lot of like music videos and like how bands present themselves, and I could take like a little aspect, like I use a lot of old tech. I use the high 8 camera, the mini DV cameras, and the VHS. So if this person did it, I'm gonna do it. I'm incorporated, but I'm not copying every single frame by frame. Whenever you start copying frame by frame, I feel like that's harder to do than just making your own video.
Because now you're trying to recreate something that's already, and if you're trying to recreate it, it's obviously done at a high level, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And like, I feel like just copying frame by frame is like, how is that fun?
Right.
Like, there's no.
You just want the extra or the final result that they got, and you're not gonna get it.
And like claiming it to be like yours, it's like copyright at this point. So I think there is a fine line where you need it. If you like an angle that someone used during a video and you use it on your video, that's I think that's completely fine, because like you added another tool in your toolbox to whip out during a video. But whenever you're just seeing this and let's do frame by frame, like.
Because anyway, you can take that same angle and make it yours still.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you don't have to copy exactly like, oh, my eyes need to be right here in this center point. And I need to look up at this moment. Like,
and I gotta have this person turn to the left like this. Yeah. And like no,
like, you don't have to do that.
You don't gotta do
You can use the angle.
I'm gonna show you the video that we're talking about after, bro. It's insane.
Please.
How you didn't show them?
No, I never showed them.
It happened twice.
Same person. Yeah.
And like I get a lot of motivation because someone showed me this before where you just screen record and go frame by frame to see like transitions and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, again, it's dope, and you can make your own concept from it. It's drawing that inspiration versus like, man, you just made my video over.
Right.
Yeah.
And for what reason?
I don't think there's anything wrong with screen recording someone's content and like going frame by frame to figure out
you're learning at that point. Yeah.
You're learning. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like that masking transition, that's how they got from here to here. And you went from frame to frame. Oh, they cut it off here.
Right.
So yeah, I think like, I don't think that's anything
No,
wrong
I don't
with
either.
that. Yeah.
So this might help those people that think that's okay or might want to do that to be better. How do you approach your creative process in the videography project? So like, for example, you just shot Gabby Fortune, kind of like mini documentary type style.
Yeah.
Take us through that entire process of like, hey, she hit you up, leading up to the shoot, and then the editing process.
So this might be unconventional. I don't know how because I don't know your guys' creative process when it comes to videos. But I recently shot with Gabby probably a couple days ago, and we just wanted to do like a knee sleeve gym shoot. And I was driving home, listening to my music on shuffle. I was like, wait a second, this song kind of would fit the vibe. We're gonna be shooting at night. It's a warehouse gym reapers. It's dark. It's grungy. It kind of fit the vibe. So I already got the song picked out in my head. When I got there, I don't know if you do this, I just freestyle the whole shoot.
I do too.
I don't know what's gonna look like at the end, and I just start filming all the angles, and then when I get home, that's when I kind of start piecing things together. So I don't have anything really planned in my head, but like the song maybe.
And I might like for me personally, I might like see something and I'm like, all right, now I know where this is gonna go.
Yeah.
I might add a little bit of like,
I might do some planning.
yeah,
ahead.
some in process planning, I guess you could call it. And it's like, but I'm not going shot list.
No, I'm not going shot list. I do want to go shot list for like different projects. Like I know a lot of people in Houston do car ads or like car specs, and that needs a shot list for sure. You can't just freestyle that.
Just drive around.
Yeah, you can't just drive around and just be like, and it's gonna look like that. No, that needs a shot list, a whole production team. But usually just freestyle, get there, have the song in mind, and kind of just whatever I'm feeling at the time. This is what it's gonna look like.
Me personally, I can't edit without the song.
Oh no, absolutely not.
The song makes the video.
I can start grabbing like the quality parts of the frame or like cropping down the edges of like the video files, but like I can't edit. I can see where things might line up together, but I can't edit.
No, I'm slapping the song first.
Yeah, song first.
And
then I put a fucking Rec 709 over everything so I can at least look halfway decent, and then I go.
Yeah, how about you?
That's the same process. The song is the first thing that gets dragged onto my timeline.
Yep.
Every time.
I'm listening at the song. It's so weird because I used to actually put all the clips on my timeline.
I know people do that.
I do that still.
Yeah.
But
you still do that?
Yeah.
Now I just look in my viewfinder,
Yeah,
the
like
view
the folder.
window,
Yeah.
and I just go and play the clips each, and then I'll do like the in and out, and I'll drag that onto my timeline, and then look for different transitions. That takes time. Okay,
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, but it depends on the mood I'm in. I would say.
I feel like your mood and what you're feeling and what you're listening to.
Exactly.
That's what makes the videos, I feel like, so much more fun. Because
you have like
I'm
passion behind it. You're not
like maybe I'm feeling hype, maybe I'm feeling sad, or like I'm like, feeling a certain vibe. And it shows in your videos. It shows in the videos.
What as you're editing, what does your creativity look like? Like, what are you thinking of? Are you or even so? That's the question I was going to ask. While you're shooting, before we go to the editing.
So while you're shooting,
if you see a clip that you don't like, are you deleting it instantly or no?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
If I'm like accidentally recording the ground,
for sure.
I'm gonna delete that. But if there's a clip I'm like iffy about, I'm like, oh, this doesn't look too good. I'm gonna keep it just in case.
Yeah.
Because some throwaway clips I've used in.
Yeah, you can use like split second.
Yeah.
Because I won't do that either. Because it's like I'm paranoid.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
so
so
you can't go back and reshoot.
I may accidentally delete another clip.
Exactly.
Because sometimes when you go to the playback, it'll go to a clip before that.
Right.
The one you
and
just
you're
shot.
thinking you're
deleting the right shot, but it's not. So I'm like, I'm gonna keep.
I'm gonna just keep it. I got plenty of space on my card.
Question for both of you: like, as you've now developed your style, your skills through shooting and editing, like I know, for example, for me, I'll tell you my side of it, and then I'll ask you. Like when I first started shooting, I was shooting any and everything. I would have come home with like an hour worth of footage,
just running and gunning.
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't get to shoot this again. Like I need everything that I can possibly imagine. And then now, like, okay, if I'm shooting a reel, I might have 8 minutes. You know what I'm saying? What do you guys also do that, or is that like what is your final? If you're shooting a reel for a promo or whatever it might be, what is the final like timestamp that you guys have of footage from like a 2-hour shoot?
Oof. I think I know the gigs. I don't want a timestamp. How about you?
I don't really have a timestamp. I honestly, I'm an advocate of overshooting.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
So
lie.
if you came back from a 2-hour shoot for a promo, how much time do you think you would have shot?
I would have at least a 2-hour promo. I would at least have, I say 45 minutes.
Okay, I got you.
A good 45 minutes.
I don't know the time, but I think I average about like 30 gigs.
Yeah. 30 gigabytes.
30 gigabytes of footage.
Okay,
30 to 40, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably
which is a lot
if you
think about it.
That's like when I'm transferring photo files, I'm like, bro, 26 gigabytes of files.
Because sometimes like when you do a transition just once, it sometimes doesn't hit when you're editing.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
So like I have multiple takes of that. It's just like, all right, I can pick the best one. So I want to advocate for a little overshooting. It depends on the kind of content you're doing too. You know,
I feel that for sure.
I'm an average. Honestly, I did a 2-hour lacrosse shoot. I averaged probably like that was maybe like 90 clips almost. So
yeah,
some of them longer than others, but Yeah, I think
you just have more in your arsenal.
Yeah, and then you can make a reel
BTS,
out of one of them.
Exactly.
Like it's so many advantages to it, and versus the net, but versus like undershooting, and you don't know.
You're trying to get everything you can. You put
slow-mo on that shit. You're flipping the video, inverting it.
Same clip. You just flip it. Nah, I can't do that.
No, I feel that for sure. So as we get ready to wrap up, bro, what strategies or tips do you have for others who are trying to balance full-time jobs and their creative passions?
Balancing everything, essentially. Oh man, so it all comes down to like how bad do you want to do it? Mm-hmm. Like I want to still be the provider and the future provider I'm going to be, so I'm gonna put time in there. But also like how much do I love doing video? If you really love doing something, you're gonna put in the time. Like when people ask me like that question, how do I do it? I'm just like, I literally just do it because I want to do it.
Right.
And you set time apart. Like maybe don't watch Netflix tonight or don't play some Fortnite and go edit or do a shoot. Go out in the city and do some shooting. But I think it comes down to just like how bad do you really want it?
I feel that for sure.
I want to give one quick tip.
Yeah.
That has helped me tremendously, especially shooting like sports content and whatnot, right? The reason I can edit so efficiently if I'm shooting like a basketball game, boxing match, something like that, right? What I tend to do, and I forgot who taught me this. I'm sorry, whoever taught me this. I want to call your name, but I don't know. I forgot. But literally when I'm out there shooting and something happens, I always remember to cover my camera at that point.
Yes, I've seen a lot of that, especially with sports photography. I see that happen a lot.
Literally, all you have to do is if somebody dunks on somebody, cover your camera real quick.
Yep.
And that way in the editing process, you know where to cut to, and you will see a dark spot, and you'll be like,
when you're scrubbing through, you're like, okay.
Here's it. And that's how I edit like highlights from basketball games so quick, like the ones that don't need like the crazy edits and stuff. You just cut through and they just want the highlights. It takes me like 10 minutes to do it because I have all the clips already lined up.
You know that one right there.
Exactly.
I feel
that's actually really helpful.
Building off that, that's exactly what the next question is. What specific skills do you guys think are essential for aspiring videographers and photographers to develop?
Skills.
Like if I'm starting off, maybe I'm 6 months in, maybe I'm brand new, maybe I'm a year in, and I'm like, I'm trying to take it to that next level. What do you think is like essential? You could think like personal wise, like communication with the client, or literary skills like touching the camera.
Oh man,
I think is still don't be focused on the paid shoots and still do your passion projects. Because if you're doing a lot of paid shoots, you're kind of set to standard of like, I want this, and you have like limited creativity when it comes to it. So if you're doing a lot of more passion projects, that'll flow into like your workflow. And I think that taking inspiration from all the things you're doing outside of the paid work, will make your paid work better.
And just know, like, too, there's no real difference in, other than you getting paid, there's no real difference in free work versus paid work. Because a lot of people, when they transition to paid work, they get nervous. They, don't know if they're supposed to be in this position. Or versus the free work, you don't have any like boundaries or anything set to like, oh, maybe I don't have to worry about if this client likes my content or not. It's literally the same thing. They're just paying you for your time the way you should, and you should be more confident in yourself that you can do this. And on top of that, it's just like, you just have to, because creativeness can't be taught.
It can't. Like if you sit us down right now, give us a couple clips and all of us start editing, our process is going to look so different. There's no right way in how a video should start or how you should drag whatever.
Exactly.
It's all different. Like you said, you drag all your clips in.
Yep.
I've never done that. I scrub through and I pick, and like sometimes some people color grade in the beginning. Some people will save the color grading at the end. Sound effects while you're doing it. Some people do it all at the end. So it's really different.
And I guarantee you, all three of us are gonna have 3 different videos.
Oh, it's gonna be
guaranteed.
You can probably tell who made what too,
exactly,
by how their style is.
And that's like one of the biggest. I was gonna say that's like one of the best compliments that I got is like
that's a photographer video,
right? Yeah, like my brother would be like, "Oh, when Corrupted posts your video compared to Duhan compared to Ant, like I can tell who posted."
You can tell, and that's honestly the biggest compliment. Like people can recognize your work even though you're in the same space.
And that's something that takes process and time too. You know what I'm saying? Like starting off is just a video. You know what I'm saying? It might even be a good video, but like it takes a minute until it's like, oh, this is Aaron's style. This is Aaron's video. Now people can see a video come up on Instagram, at least in our circle, and be like, oh, that's Aaron. Aaron shot that. Ant shot that. Duhan shot that. Izzy shot that. You know what I'm saying? Like just different styles.
I ain't gonna lie, Izzy, you got some shit that a lot of people don't. I haven't seen it.
I appreciate it.
But that tag, bro,
dude, the tags,
bro.
We started the tags.
Yeah, for sure.
Like
the podcast gave me mine, and then you made yours, and it's just like.
And I feel like
I still don't see anybody
you and
with
I
it.
didn't start doing tags. I think we both hit you up. Be like, do you know anyone who could do this? They're like, yeah. And you're like, I actually have one ready to go. I was
I just never used it.
I was like, I have one ready to go too. Like, should we just start using them?
And it's tough as fuck, bro. And it's something that, like, again, it's just another element. You see it all the time in like music and stuff.
You see it in producers and music.
Exactly. You don't really see that in like the creative space.
I don't think a lot of people were doing that before we were.
There's only one other person that I've seen have it. He shot for CJ Stroud. I can't think of it, but that shit is tough as fuck too. But it's just like, again, it just adds another element to
and people look forward to it. Yeah, like hearing that they look forward to hearing the tag.
Because now I know, I'm like, damn, I gotta watch this shit. And then the crazy part, you strategically place it.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
Like it's not just like in the middle of the video.
Yeah, it's like literally he strategically placed it, and it's like at that point where he's like, oh shit,
the build up.
And it sounds like it's part of the song.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, that shit's tough as well. Especially yours, bro. I think because it has like the AI sound to it.
It's
a little
an
bit.
AI female voice that you can't get anymore.
No,
because I tried going back to the website and doing it. It's gone. So
that's crazy.
I have I can't edit this track anymore. That's it.
Right. And I think that's kind of the nice part about mine is like actually like it's actual voices, you know. So again, it can't be recreated. Like
it can't be recreated.
Will fucking edited it perfectly, so like it fits in every situation. You know what I'm saying? So again, as we wrap up, what are goals you have in the future of both your nursing career and videography?
Nursing career wise, I want to graduate in December to be an acute gerontology. Acute adult. I mean, I just messed up the whole acronym.
Hey,
critical care nurse practitioner. I want to work in the ICU. I love ICU. I love the rush, and just helping people at their most vulnerable times to like walking out of the unit is like very fulfilling, and I don't think it'll ever get old. Or even like making sure someone's comfortable at their end of life is one thing I don't think I'll ever give up in terms of what I do in terms of videography. If I had to pick one, I'm picking both still, because I like it's just it makes me feel like I'm really doing something in this world, and I want to be known as someone who cared for people. I feel that way.
That's dope as fuck.
So finish my NP. In terms of videography, I want to just keep doing what I'm doing. Keep working with my retainers. I want to work with more medical nursing brands and more fitness brands, and just kind of grow myself as a person who's known for just doing both.
Right.
Not just strictly a videographer, but this guy also has a job and he incorporates balance. Just being a guy who knows how to balance his life.
I feel that for sure. Jared, any questions for him, bro, before we get out of here?
I think I've asked all my questions.
I feel it. All right, bro. Now we got speed questions.
Oh,
so these are 1 to 2 word answer.
1 to 2 word answers.
Quick off the dome.
So I can't yap.
And there are no wrong answers.
Yeah.
Yes, there are.
I cannot yap.
So first one, what's your favorite camera brand?
Sony, because I only shoot Sony.
I feel that. What editing software do you use for photo and video?
Photo, Lightroom, Classic. I started dabbling into Photoshop finally.
Okay.
And Final Cut. A lot of people think I use After Effects. I'm scared of After Effects right now.
I am too. I don't even want to touch it.
I don't want to touch it.
Unless there's something I can't do in Final Cut that I need After Effects, that's when I'll move over. But Final Cut right now, and I want to start color grading in DaVinci eventually.
I feel that. If you could only use one lens that's not a 24-70, what would it be? One prime lens and one zoom lens.
That can't be 24-70?
Yeah. So you can pick one prime lens, you can pick one zoom
prime,
lens.
I'm going with 35.
Okay.
35 millimeter. And zoom, it's maybe like a 12 to 35, 14 to 35 to get that wide angle shot. Yeah, those two.
What camera did you start on?
Nikon D90. An old camera I found in my closet.
Hell yeah. And what? How long did you use that for?
Like 2 months.
And then
I was like, no, this ain't it.
And then you got the A7 III.
And I got A7 III.
Got you. So last thing, bro, anything that you want to leave other up and coming creatives with?
Have fun. Like, don't focus on the money. Have fun. The money will eventually come. If you're having fun, if you love what you do.
Perfect. That's
it. Anything in life.
Yeah, literally.
You know,
that's it, bro.
Just enjoy it.
That's it, dude.
That's what I always say. Like, I can tell when I don't enjoy a project because it feels like I'm working. Mm-hmm. Like, and as someone who does it full time, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's times where I'm like, bro, I should not have done the shoot. I don't feel like fucking editing this, or I don't feel like going to the shoot. Like, now it feels like work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but 95% of the time, it's just fun.
Have fun. Add your own sauce to it.
Be you.
Be you. Be yourself.
Literally add your own sauce to it.
That's it. So thank you guys for tuning in to episode 5 of the Capture Craft podcast. Aaron, bro, appreciate you tuning in.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate
jumping
you,
on with us. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Later.